Hey everyone! Welcome to this impromptu stream of Frostpunk 2 and the VOD that will come from this at the very end. And I'm super excited, more so because I'm streaming on a Friday night, which is not a normal thing for us to do. For those who join after the fact, I'm trying to stream a lot more, and this is going to be something that we see a little bit more than just Planet Zoo games and whatnot. So just maybe going out a little bit and enjoying some different games and whatnot. So if you've found me from my first two videos, welcome back. And I have a confession to make. I may have accidentally missed my save up. I was trying to take a screenshot and it actually caused the game to crash. So I've lost some progress, and I tried to make up some of it, but it's we're starting a little bit one step behind. So I do apologize, because you're going to notice a few things are different. And the big thing here is I've passed a law to circumvent our health issue, our health crisis that we had going. It's still going. So let's take a quick look. And the way, for those who are just finding the game now, Frostpunk 2, it's I've played it a little bit more. It has become significantly more difficult in some aspects. It's nice that you're working on a macro level as opposed to a micro level, but the reality is that the same things that you face in Frostpunk 1, you continue to face in Frostpunk 2. So yeah. In terms of things that we're doing pretty good, we have a really strong stockpile of food, which is kind of good because we don't have that many weeks left from a food perspective. The downside, though, is we are really short on heat. We actually can't sustain the amount of heat we need, and nor can I actually hire anybody to fulfill that. So here's what we're going to do. Let's unpause the game because we need to do that. First things first, we're going to let this run itself out. We only have 600 wood remaining, so not too much left over. What if we expand? Hang on. Yeah, nothing there. So we don't really have a whole lot, so we can actually repurpose that. Now, on top of that, we do need to place down some... this is going to get our coal up and running. So coal's always going to be the one thing that we're kind of chasing. Now, in our last episode, we started to explore the Frostland, and there's a few things I've kind of explored a little bit more off camera and just correcting things, and we have quite a few points of interest to work out. Now, when it comes to exploring your Frostland, you have our Frostland teams that we're kind of working through. We only have 10. It's because the base logistics district only supplies 10. And I wonder if that will change. If we expand it, we may get some more output, which is always important for us. On top of that, we are constructing a second logistics center. As soon as we can kind of clear this out, we have a... oh, no. I was going to say until we clear it out, but we didn't have enough tickets for it. So we're just going to make some room and try to open up this space and get a few more logistics teams out there. On top of that, we finally exhausted this particular area. We don't really have anything left over. Now, weirdly enough, and I don't know if it's maybe a aspect of the fact that this is still in early access, a beta, closed beta phase, the resource nodes don't disappear. So it can get kind of a little trippy, but thankfully, if you hover over it, you'll see what's available. So we've exhausted that, and we're now back in the deficit from a materials perspective. We are... okay, otherwise, we definitely have a shelter issue, so that's always going to be a thing. Now, there's something else that I've stumbled across in the game, and I did not realize this. And I'm wondering, because now you're seeing the difference between me recording a game for regular YouTube and me going live stream is we learn things together, which I think is always important, and the fun aspect of playing games. But there's a few of these research items that actually don't cost anything to develop. And here's a perfect example: weather-adjusted shifts. Heat demand is slightly decreased, which is what we definitely need. Disease is slightly decreased, which we definitely need. And resource production efficiency is slightly decreased as well. So we're going to make less resources, but our disease is going to go down and our heat demand is going to go down. And heat demand is everything. On top of that, we have machine-adjusted shifts, which marginally increases squalor, but the workforce requirement is slightly decreased. I think I'm going to go ahead with weather-adjusted shifts, only because it seems more humane. And I feel like everything in this game is about trying to remain humane as much as possible. Now, we are slowly ticking up on some of these. Again, it's the demand from a goods and materials perspective that's killing us. because we need to kind of come up with some additional homes. But we're okay, because what we can do is we can expand outward our pre-existing residential sections, and that'll give us a little bit of extra room. Now, we did play around with this, so we expanded this out, and we did get an extra 5, which is fantastic, but we also need a few more than that. Again, we don't have the tickets for it. So in the meantime, if we take a look over here, let's go and do some more exploring. So we have a few options. We can't explore anything that's in unsafe territory. So I did mention this before. The way unsafe territory works is you just haven't really mapped it out or anything like that. It could be one of many reasons you've just never been near it. So it does take more Frostland teams, and it takes significantly longer to go. But alternatively, we can check out some of these other areas that are around. Now, as you make your way closer to certain areas, in this case the glacier is an example, it's a challenging territory, but before it would have been a difficult area to access, so the more you branch out, the easier it becomes. Now, on top of that, you'll see right here, we have a little arrow. Now, this arrow is pointing in the direction that we want to travel, so we're currently following oil-treated sledges. So we need to make our way wherever that's pointing. Now, the idea behind this is we do need to satisfy our fuel requirements, and part of the issue is that we're running into a situation where we're going to run low on fuel relatively quickly if we don't have some type of new resource set up. And we would love to get the blasting coal mine, and we just don't have the heat stamps for it. Need 120, and you know what it's really coming down to is that resources are everything. We just need more resources. We don't have enough. We don't make enough to offset that. Now, here's a perfect example. We really want to get another logistics area. It's going to use up what little resources we have left. So we'll go ahead and expand that out. Now, we do need to set up a new resource area as well, and the best way to do that would be to take advantage of this frozen forest. But I did spy, if I'm not mistaken, so an easy way for you to determine where resources are available in the on the map is to open up your districts and hubs, and you can kind of see we have a few things. Right here we actually have an iron ore deposit. So maybe instead of going for the wood, we can take advantage of the iron ore deposit. And this is me going way out on left field because I really don't. I haven't really played this game a whole lot, so we're on a tight timeline. The stream's going to probably be relatively short because we only have 50 weeks left. But Nell Sinkfield, 38, housewife. What a name. Lil Joey's been coughing all night. His forehead's as hot as a generator. It's them Turners. I know it's them. They got that new flu, and here they are strolling about the neighborhood, carrying on with their business, and they're killing people, and that's what they're doing. Oh, please, Lord Almighty. I can't stand to lose another child. Someone's got to get through to them. Super important. So this is it's going to ask us to vote for a new law, and we can do so in one day, which is perfect. Oh, no, never mind. Gotta wait 10 more weeks. we just missed the cutoff. But we can definitely see that we're getting into a little bit of a deficit here. We're not doing so good. We are going to turn our food off for now. And the reason why... so we're going to lower this down to half shifts. So what this does, we have two options at the very top. We have emergency shifts and we have half shifts. And if you're a fan of Frostpunk 1, this is something you would have played with before. Emergency shifts mostly. So what this does is it allows you to work longer, because they're going to work overnight, but the efficiency is increased, but trust will go down. I think we've seen that. The new fact is half shifts. So what this does is 50% workforce requirement, efficiency goes down, and the resource requirement is extremely decreased. So we can benefit by going with a half shift here, and that will help us out. We'll go ahead and turn that back on. The reason why is because our food has actually hit a point where we've hit our stockpile. So if we continue to make more food or resource more food, we're just going to kind of throw it out, and it's not beneficial for us. Sick neighbors, no common rules, and this is what we were talking about. We knew that they were going to come with this. We need to get our law passed for health. In the meantime, we're going to take another look at a research tree. And this is kind of the important thing, because we're looking for research idea trees that don't cost us anything. And sometimes we're lucky, sometimes we find them, sometimes we don't, and that's okay. Although Logistics Bay does sound really enticing. Nothing there. Let's see. Work compensation. It doesn't cost us anything. So efficiency bonuses, resources production efficiency is increased. That could actually balance out the lack of resources that we have right now. Or we can lower our... no, we need to go with efficiency bonuses. And it's not going to cost us anything, so we'll take that. And what this does is it unlocks a law that we can pass. So in Frostpunk 1, and I was thinking about this, a lot of the reason why people held off on gathering or unlocking certain research is that, or passing certain laws, sorry, is that you had to go and unlock a research item, and that kind of tied you down a lot. And it's not beneficial. It's really a bit of a struggle as well. So keeping that in mind, with this game, you don't necessarily have to do that, which is kind of nice. Now, what we're going to do, we finally have the Frostland teams to make our way to the glacier. So we're going to go ahead and launch an expedition on the way. It's going to take 28 weeks, which is probably going to get us near the end of the game, as it is right now. But while we're doing that, I think we finally have enough things to, enough tickets to kind of create a new, not a logistics center, that would have been silly, a housing district, something we are in dire need of. Because if you can see right here, our housing, we have quite a few unfulfilled, and unfulfilled just leads to a lot of unhappy people. Nobody wants to sleep in the cold, especially with a whiteout on the way. Disease weakens the workforce. We knew that was coming. Survival. We need to unlock something. Economy. Is it under economy? There it is. We have infection badge, which is terrible. I don't know about that. Or supported quarantine. I feel like supported quarantine is going to go much better. Shelter availability per capita is slightly decreased, and disease is significantly decreased. So we're definitely going to go with that. We're going to risk it for the biscuit, and we're going to hope that the vote goes through. Looking close.
The proposed law
we just passed, which is a win in my books. And just like that, we have we've satisfied a lot of our disease issues. So we can see we're now it's now diminishing, which is exactly what we wanted to see. We do have a minor crime issue, but right now our squalor is what's the biggest concern that we have right now. There's a few ways to reduce squalor. If we look under housing, we don't have anything unlocked yet. So I'm thinking maybe we can get a hospital. Hospitals will help us to reduce squalor, which I think is super important. Now our food is starting to decrease, but we have a relatively large surplus. We'll last for 186 weeks at our current level, so I think we're okay from that perspective. We'll wait around just a little bit. Our population is steadily growing. We're almost at 12,000 people. I'm shocked that we're almost at that level. The issue, though, is our coal. We are exhausting quite a bit of our coal. Did we place down? We did not. Let's go ahead and place down a blasting mine. And there we go. That's going to fix that for a short time anyway. We'll be able to start stockpiling some coal. Now let's take another look. We have some more laws more research that we can unlock. Anything that seems interesting or enticing for us. Let's check under society. Watchtowers, which would be nice to have watchtowers. We have youth. Okay. Liberated youth. Young adults are encouraged to experiment free from arbitrary bounds and judgments. That seems really dangerous. I don't know if I want to go that route. But hospitals, this is what we wanted to unlock. And it's only going to cost us 50, but that's not bad. So we can do increase population growth and significantly decrease disease. Or we can go with decrease, disease is decreased. I feel like a recovery hospital is the way to go. So let's go ahead and unlock that. So I'm digging the way Frostpunk 2 runs. And part of the reason why I'm loving it is just the freedom associated with the game as opposed to what we've seen in the past. I'm having a lot of fun with this, just exploring and seeing how far we can kind of go.
An automaton has broken down and is blocking traffic.
Oh, an automaton has broken down. I love the chatter in the background. I feel like it's so on point in making everything kind of seem a little bit more realistic. 17 weeks. It's going to push it to the end of the game, that's for sure. So the game will end at 200 weeks, so we can't go much longer than that. But 200 weeks is like, it's like almost 4 years have passed since we've started, which is significantly better than what it was. I split session. So we did commit to having, here it is, efficiency bonuses. Encourage competition. The city will allocate special bonuses. We will vote for yes for that. This is what Icebloods wanted. I think it was a hidden thing that we had on the background. I don't think it's going to pass. It's our first law rejected. Look at that. Sad day. But who am I kidding? We don't need those Icebloods getting up in power. They already amount for 7% of the workforce of our population, which is kind of concerning. Still having a squalor issue. But we will have that hospital shortly. I think it's going to tap out our coal issues, though. I think we're going to run into a coal problem. Let's, housing. No, not yet. Where is it? There we go. Let's go ahead and place down some recovery hospitals. And this is going to definitely help out from a squalor perspective and a disease perspective, I think. Yeah, it's definitely helping out. That's going to do the job. That's what we needed to do. And we've made it to our glacier. Old village. We were searching for a rumored hunting ground. Instead, we found a long deserted village. Some of the houses were once painted a cheerful red. The snow was dusted with flakes of paint. In the houses, we found odd luxuries, little porcelain dolls and toy trains. The charred remains of the village temple loomed over the once picturesque town square. Someone had scrawled Fimbulvinter in red paint on a wall. Whatever end these people met, it couldn't have been pretty. We found plenty of building materials and a stockpile of coal in the cellar. So we could take the materials, so we can send 5,000 materials and 10,000 coal. That's exactly what we need. And it is only going to take, so unlike in the original game, where if you did this, it would take your exploration team or your Frostland team. This one will take only 5 of our 20. So we can actually now continue on our way further by. Now, on top of that, we also unlocked this additional point. So unlike in the original game, where if you were traveling around, we would select each individual point, we found this point, so we no longer need to travel to this point. So those left behind. While scavenging a deserted campsite, we came across a well-preserved diary. My apologies. A quick skim revealed that the author's cataloged her husband's mental decline since the discovery of a black fount, likely an oil seep. These people began increasing their dependency on the substance and were looking into its potential medicinal properties. He was fiercely opposed, and from the sound of it, his opposition wasn't well received. She wrote of a region similar to one southwest of here. Kind of concerning that they were thinking of utilizing some oil as a health alternative. I don't know how I feel about that. That seems wildly unsafe. But we can send an expedition, and it is going to take 20 teams. The only downside, and I don't know if they're going to correct this in the next version of the game, our Frostland team is now traveling back from the original team or the city, as opposed to the last point that they visited. So it's almost like they made it all the way there and all the way back. Makes more sense for them to have kind of hung out right here with us. We still have 10 more teams that we can send. Anything else that seems exciting? And here's an example. So as we've traveled and continued our exploration of the Frostland, we've ended up in the plains. So a vast expanse of relatively low elevation characterized by flat or generally rolling terrain with occasional plateaus and basins poses negligible challenge for exploration, and we'll potentially find some resources. So we'll go ahead and send some people out there. I don't think we're going to make it there. 9 weeks, 15 weeks. Yeah, we're not going to make it. That's it. We've pretty much exhausted. I think we're going to have to survive this whiteout, which is going to last for the next few weeks. Technocrats suggest an action for heat stamps. Stewart, we're struggling with heat stamps. A group of technocrats have come forward with an idea. We should research calibrated goods factory. Let's us pursue it, and the city will benefit. They look with distrust at what other communities propose. They would surely appreciate getting behind their idea. I don't know what this calibrated goods factory. We'll investigate. Not that it's going to matter. It's giving us 60 weeks to unlock it. So everything is very much macro in Frostpunk 2. And I'm not going to lie, I thought we were going to have a little bit of a longer version, but we've hit the end with this final whiteout, because this is going to be it. Should be it. 200 weeks. People are not. Tension is really high right now as well. There's not much we can do about it. All right, so let's take a look at this survival goods factories. He wants us to take a look at calibrated good factories. So it takes 300 workforce, 6 materials, but we get 30 goods as an output as opposed to. Why would you do? I guess it's the 400 workforce versus 300. I don't want to increase our squalor any more than it already is. So we're not gonna go in with what the technocrats have recommended. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. And then just like that, we have deaths due to the cold. Our trust is falling, and part of the reason why it's falling is we just we don't have the coal output to satisfy this whiteout. But there is a way around that. Don't think we have any Frostland teams just yet. We have 5 back. I don't think that's enough. Man, this music is intense. Tension is catastrophic. We might be okay. Technocrats is suggesting another action. We should research a grinding coal mine. We'll handle the coal another way. Because just like that, we've survived. And we immediately see our tension start dropping. And our promise was kept. There we go. We almost didn't weather that one. Deteriorating infrastructure. Stewart, high squalor has deteriorated one of our districts so much it needs repairs to function. Interesting. So I haven't run into this before, where you require additional repair due to the squalor. So now we understand where squalor comes into the entire game. Supply enough materials for regular maintenance of the districts or research other ways of dealing with the problems. So obviously, definitely some issues. And on top of that, we have the whiteout has passed. We'll be ready for the next one. So we can fix our materials problem by doing that. Now, if we look at our materials district, disabled, needs repairs, we'll go ahead and repair this for 100. Oh my goodness, that's a huge sink. There we go. So we satisfied our good surplus, finally. Problems with squalor, I understand. Okay, let's take a look at something that we can do from a squalor perspective. Where would that be under? Economy? Well, you know what? We can pass paid essentials, which is going to increase our overall heat stamps. That's a benefit.
The proposed
And barely
law
passed. Look at that.
has been approved.
Okay, let's see if we can figure out how we can decrease some squalor here. Filtration towers. Squalor will be significantly decreased. Yeah, we'll definitely go with that. We sent some Frostland teams. Where are they? That's weird. We definitely sent out some Frostland teams, and I can't find them anymore. We might have broken the game. It's always fun when you find a little inconsistency. I think we have enough people that we can actually go ahead with a second extraction district. So I want to take advantage of all this wood. Cutthroat economy. Paid essentials provides less heat stamps income. I guess we'll go that route. It's still a lot. 18 is nice. It's not often that we're getting that many heat stamps on a regular basis. Where did our Frostland teams go? I feel like we might have broken the game. Oh, there it is. Our game will end in 50 weeks. Now, we've broken our promise with the Technocrats and the Machinists, so the easiest way to fix this, the easiest way, sometimes we're lucky and we can actually just, fund a project. How many heat stamps do they want to fund a project? Oh my goodness. Okay. Easier way, we'll just grant their agenda. Unregulated work shifts. Of course, they've been pushing so much for this.
The eyes have it.
I'm really confused as to what happened to our Frostland teams. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I think. Oh. Hang on. We just broke the game. Okay, let's see if we can get that back up and running again. Well, that was awkward. We're going back 5 minutes in time. How does something like that happen? Do we have our Frostland teams yet? No. Where are they? Okay, let's try this again. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to delete these two. No. Doesn't like that. Okay. We're going further back in time. I always wanted to be a time traveler of some type. And I feel like this is going to be the closest we get to it. It did not like what we did there. Oh my goodness, these are weeks. I thought those were days for the longest time because I'm just I'm weird like that, I guess. But no, those are days. Okay. We've traveled back in time. We have our Frostland teams back. We're going to vote for this. We already know that they're not going to pass. Efficiency bonus is just not going to work out for them. That's okay.
The eyes have it.
Interesting. Is it randomized every time? It calls into question quite a bit. Okay, so we don't have any funds. I feel caught off guard by like this whole going back in time thing. Yes, we have a lack of workforce. Now we're back in the right area, so we're not gonna do anything right now. We'll leave them for now because we can come back here at any time. Let's just hunker down for this this whiteout that we may or may not survive. So here's what we're gonna do because we need to survive. So we're gonna go ahead and turn off a few of our areas, and hopefully this will give us enough coal that they can continue to run during this this storm. Which I guess it's a really cool factor knowing that we can play the game like this. We are eating into our food. We have 11 weeks. But we only have the last 20. We'll have to turn this back on eventually. That was weird and frustrating. I don't think I've ever... there's a few times that I've run into a game where it's kind of like collapsed in on us. What are we actually pulling here? Short 400. But I think it got us through the storm. That's exactly what we wanted. We had enough of a stockpile that our tension didn't blow this time. And then now we have quite a few Frostland teams that we can kind of continue our journey. So we'll launch our expedition. Already did that one. We are going to take our resources, and while we're at it, we're also going to explore these plains. Now, on top of that, we actually have some heat stamps that we can kind of work with. So let's make some trails. We need 5 Frostland teams, but that's okay. I know what we can do. We'll just expand out. Haha. We are running low on food. It is on, so we'll turn off half shifts. Unfair competition. Stewards of frost-breaking crew members have complained about their colleague. He works with prosthetics after the frost cleaned both hands, yet they say he unfairly outperforms them, claiming every efficiency bonus for himself. This lunatic made his hands just for this job. He can do nothing else with them unless you want us to chop our hands off and do the same. We cannot compete, said one of the frustrated crew members. Unfair, I'll tell you what's unfair. My hands were chopped off for God's sake. I have pickaxe for hands, you goon. I shouldn't laugh about this, but this is actually kind of funny. We're not going to amend the law. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not happening. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Okay, so our Frostland teams are good to go. We can actually start planning out a route. A route? Wrong one. My bad. Sorry. So this will make travel time a little bit faster for us, which I think is always going to be important. And we still have that squalor issue that we totally forgot to fix. So we found that under society, I think. No. Where to survival? It was under survival. David McEnroe, 29. Work more or you won't get anything. Work harder, you won't get anything. Work faster, you won't get a single damn thing. Why is my income tied to some lunatic's crazy efficiency? I guess people are not happy with the efficiency bonus that we implemented. I'm feeling like maybe that was a bad idea. Okay, we've explored our 2 additional areas. So we have our first one, which was right here. Mechanics Expedition. The shelter must have been built for some important person or a very small group. Whoever was supposed to live here never showed up. The supplies are untouched. So we could take 10 stock cores. So we can send 5 people back for that. That's no problem. A spoonful of oil. Another day, another frozen corpse. Something about this one gave us a pause. A swollen, distended belly on an otherwise healthy male. Black sludge drooled from his mouth, pooling on his chest. Oil. He'd been dry drowned in petroleum. A nearby medical journal held a record of his vitals. A strange note at the bottom felt darkly optimistic. May we find him again through the black fount. All signs point south. I do appreciate the fact that they have these little arrows. Let's send an expedition team. We'll continue our search for the oil. I can't believe they fed this guy oil. That's kind of dark. Come over here. We found a decrepit village. We can deconstruct it for more. That's a lot of materials. So we can connect this. Let's go this route like that because we already have a trail set up. So I think we can just, yeah, there we go. And just like that, we have we have some what's the word I'm looking for? Materials coming through. 200 materials. And you can see our teams are traveling significantly faster now, which is even better, which is why you can see that this kind of just zoomed all the way down. We do have an issue, though. Danielle Ingersoll. I won't kill myself after all. When I was growing up, I thought that nothing will ever change, no matter where we end up, that everyone dies alone in the end. It's how things are and have ever been. But we should be better than that. We should help each other. That's what I like, at least. And I've discovered that I'm not the only one. The city has made steps towards equality. I like these little extra tidbits. I feel that they're pretty on point. We do have a meager coal supply here as well, so we'll do the same thing. We'll tie it in. We have 50 weeks left. And just like that, I think we're going to be pulling in some additional... Oh, shoot. There we go. I don't know what happened there. I guess I circumvented the entire trail. That was silly of me. But we have explored the Sea of Ice. Or have we? Oh, we're still exploring. Interesting. And then we have Adele Snow, age 10. A petrel. I'm sure it was a petrel, and Donnie can laugh all he wants. He's a stupid killjoy, and I don't want him in my club. Many birds visit our city, but petrels are seabirds. That means that not all of the sea is frozen. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I like that. So maybe the world is not at an end as we thought. And while we were busy doing that, we totally misplaced the fact that our food is now officially done. So originally, we were clearing this area out. Okay. They're not happy with us. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grant their agenda. Unregulated work shifts, which everybody's going to like unregulated work shifts. I think we've made enough heat stamps off this for quite a while.
The delegates have spoken.
So I guess, like, now that I'm thinking about it, things that you could do in this game to not cheese it, I think it's actually meant to be worked this way, is that you could pass a law in a time where you need some additional food stamps. And then from there, you can in turn, cancel the law when you have enough. The only thing is that you need to make sure that you have a solid amount between the two. Oh my goodness, we've run into a situation where our fuel deposit is absolutely full, and we can't expand it anymore. Did I expand this one? Oh, I did not. Why would they repel weather? Okay, so Stewart, the technocrats have been growing skeptical towards the direction you led the city in. Now they decided to protest blocking all activity in the district. The city is changing, and for the worse, more decisions like this and it will endanger everything we stand for. They demand you repeal weather-adjusted shifts. They will keep protesting until you respect their demand or force them to disperse. We have to improve. Our relationships are neutral. Okay, they were protesting because they're just unhappy people. We are neutral. Ongoing protest. Fund projects, grant agenda, make promises, and promote. Do I have to, like... I'm not going to promise you a promise. We are back up and running. Okay, hang on. let's figure this out. We may have forgotten about... just about everything that we were planning on doing here. Okay, let's go take a look at... Where is it? Goods factories, that's what we wanted to look at. Go ahead and research that. We have a huge crime issue, which we'll have to do something about. We need guard towers, that's what we need. Oh, I see. Every time you expand it, it changes the type of district it is. So we have a high-rise housing district, another high-rise housing district, and then we have a dense housing district. Okay, we've finally... liquid hope. Stark against the long, infinite white of the frost. We see a pool of black. Could there be oil? We've gained access to oil. And a video. Broken shore. We can found an oil colony. That's really cool. And that's the end of the game. Well, I guess there you have it. Frostpunk 2, everybody. So we finally made it to the point where we could get oil, and then the game ran out of time. Such is life. I guess I really enjoyed the game. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of fun with Frostpunk. It's definitely a RTS city builder game that is like no other in terms of what you have to deal with on a regular basis, and I feel like you're always walking that fine line. I will say this about the game though, I'm digging the soundtrack. Super intense. Frostpunk 1 was no different though. The soundtrack was crazy. Now, a really cool feature with Frostpunk 2 that I kind of wish we had in Frostpunk 1 was the ability to have multiple colonies set up. And I wonder if you can set your colony up the same way that we set up our original, like our first colony, or is it going to be something that's more hands-on? And based off the video, it looks like it's going to be very hands-on, which I'm really excited for. So that's it, everybody. I think we'll end the stream there. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. For sure, hopefully you enjoyed the VOD. And look forward to playing this game more when it comes out. Will it be another live stream? Probably not. Probably not on a Friday night either. I realize that that's not a smart time to have a live stream, so that's definitely not the case. Just gonna turn that music down a little bit. Yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in, and I wish you guys all a fantastic weekend. If you came here hoping for Planet Zoo, stay tuned. We have a new video starting tomorrow. Hey, welcome to the stream. I was thank you for joining. I was just saying we kind of beat the game for what it was, but you know what? Let's. I feel like we could power through another Utopia builder now that we've learned more about the game. All right, so we've learned some things from the first playthrough, our first playthrough. So let's see if we can do maybe a little bit better on this playthrough of Winsep Peaks. We're probably going to skip through the tutorial. We don't care about that. Let's take a look here. So nice and clean from what we were originally playing. We definitely need to get access to coal, so we'll go ahead and break out some of that. And while we're at it, we are going to start making our way up to that logistics point. Now let's try to set this up a little bit nicer this time. It's a little haphazard the last time I played. Security for the future. What are we looking for? Telling us about stockpiling. We should start stockpiling a little bit more. Okay, so we've cleaned up enough area that we can actually kind of work with what we have here. Wanted us to get coal mines.
proposed law has been approved. An automaton has broken down and is... The proposed law has been approved.
Hey, welcome to the stream. We're powering through Frostpunk 2 right now, trying to see what we can explore in our 200-week allotment in this game. And we've discovered something in our last playthrough, which just ended. So we're now trying to power through and see if we can see some more of that. The Outsiders. I totally forgot. First things first, we'll allow outsiders. Who wouldn't allow outsiders in the middle of like a giant storm like this? I feel like it's just like a must for
The
normal
delegates
society
have
to have.
spoken. The law.
And then something we didn't really explore a whole lot of last time were logistics bays. So let's research that this time. Oh.
Sit with us. The proposed law has been rejected.
Well, that's not good. I feel like we're in a good spot right now. I feel like we're in a good spot. It's amazing how fast time goes by in this game, though. Why are they... Why are they protesting? Come on. It's interesting having to balance so many different like political communities in this game. Who would protest your one food production area though? It seems kind of silly. So what did we agree to?
The delegates have spoken. The law is tabled.
Weather adjusted shifts.
The delegates have spoken. The law takes effect.
Oh, you know what we didn't do? Oh, shoot. So we may have forgotten to worry about our fuel issue. Great. Ah, feel like we dug ourselves in a hole. Well, we're short on people.
The votes are in.
Well, I guess good thing that we negotiated on that one. Did we not? I thought we already built a watchtower. Well, we're definitely going to start to see our workforce shrink. It's not ideal. I feel like we have all these heat stamps that we didn't have the last playthrough, and now we're dealing with a fuel issue and a resource and a people issue instead. I guess the downside of expanding way too fast. Okay, we're good from that perspective, so let's be smart about this.
The votes are
Oh,
in.
that was close.
The measure passes.
Look at that. We do something good for the people, and then it just comes back to bite us in the butt.
The ayes have it.
Okay, we're kind of getting out of that deficit, I guess. Still don't have a workforce. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to see more about that ice. I want to see more about that. It'd be nice to like place things down, but we can't. Well, we're not here for that though. We're here to see more about this. This is what I wanted to check out. this is what I came here for. It's the fastest playthrough I've ever done. Interesting. So because we made it all the way to the oil, even though we still had weeks left, it automatically closed the game. So we found the oil, the unmistakable black oozing up from the natural seep of the ground, a welcome sight compared to the grim state of surroundings rippling out from the center of the pool. Dozens of bodies lay strewn in a sloppy semicircle, corpses doused in the crude sludge, bellies swollen with it. Some died at peace, some died retching. Oh my goodness. All died willing and eager at the burial grounds of a mass suicide by a mad cult idolizing the natural fount of oil, more than enough to feed the generator. Well done, Seward. You've reached one of the two main endings of the Frostpunk 2 preview. We invite you to dive back into the city and tackle the different worldviews of factions. There's bound to be a few secrets left, expect even more exploration, factions, and dramatic occurrences once the game releases on July 25th. That's it, everybody. That's fastest playthrough, but I guess it is true. We're not allowed to play in the oil pits just yet. So thanks for tuning in. Again, that was a very quick playthrough. But as always, thanks for checking.